Hello again everyone, and welcome back to the Palladian Academy. I'm your host Palladian, and as you can see here, you might recognize this design as a witch farm. My intention was to focus on building an iron golem farm next, but as it turns out, I may choose to go with the new design instead, which means that I need to think about things a bit because is that right? No. I came up with the old design I personalized the old design, and if I'm going to have to build a brand new thing, then I want to personalize that too. I want to create something that appeals to me visually and so on. So that's not going to work, is it? I have to use this. So that's the shape of things at the moment. I think I'll stick with the same number of cells as I had originally planned, but they will be a different design. So, although I'm not really sure because I really like the old design visually, it's just a lot more work. The new design is technically more difficult, and I might make a few mistakes, and then I would have to, well, I don't know exactly what I would do to fix that, but either way. But, you know, it's just part of the learning process, I guess. I need some more redstone, which I have over here. Okay, let's have one more row, and then I think I'll leave it at that and get back to the witch farm. What I want to do for this episode is I want to talk about the portal mathematics, which is something I mentioned at the end of last video, but I didn't really get around to explaining it all. It's a relatively straightforward bit of mathematics, and I think most people will know, or at least remember, the name of the computation, which is called the Pythagorean theorem, or Pythagoras theorem. It's really the Pythagorean theorem because, as I'm sure very few people know, the Pythagoreans were actually a bit of a cult. Pythagoras was only their leader, as far as I know, but they were sort of a mathematics / philosophy cult in Greece. The Pythagorean theorem, as we know it, has been known by the Babylonians and other people long before the Pythagoreans worked with it. So it's not as if they discovered it, it's just that, at least I think that's true. Ooh, it's getting dark. I don't like being around here at night. Actually, I should check if the difficulty is set correctly. Yes, it is. Because I was in another map earlier. It seems that in creative mode you can put enchantments onto things with books that you can't do in survival. For instance, you can put Fortune 3 onto a pair of shears, but you can't do that in survival. So that's a bit of a bummer. Because everything in this map has to be done in survival mode. Ooh, there's a creeper. That's interesting. Okay, let's get sand. Slime balls will be useful because I need to make some sticky pistons. Okay, this is sandstone and cobble, which I've got set up over here. Good, don't need the dirt. Okay, let's head back over to my witch farm. This is a pretty simple design. It follows the shifting floor method. I tried improving on the design, and the improved gave a worse result, so I'm not going to mess with this design. This is going to be a full block, isn't it? Is that going to be a problem? Don't think so. Okay, let's do that. It's going to be a full block, let's make it a full block. Actually, we need to consider the movement of the floors. Oh, let's leave it as a half slab for now. And of course it's impossible to place. Okay, so the way this works is the floors shift, and the witches, if they are standing not on the junction between two blocks, or 4 blocks, then they fall through the floor when it shifts. Am I wearing respiration? Yes, I am. Great. They fall through the floor, and they'll fall into an area where the there's a water stream. The water will pull them into a portal. They'll go into the nether, and that'll be that. I'll set up a trap in the nether to make them fall a long ways, and then they will instantly die. So that's the ultimate plan. Still got a ways to go though, even though I've got a good amount of the setup ready here. The most difficult part is to come though, because I've still got to put the clock, which is what I'm using to shift the floors, and I've still got to set up the portal, which is going to involve clearing this whole thing out of water and digging out a fair bit of it as well. But I want to get the redstone ready and set up first, so I need a couple more repeaters. Let's see, I need at least 3 more. So let's do this. There we go. What's that I'm hearing? Strange. Okay, this is where the signal is going to come in. So one of these repeaters has to be set on a delay, and I believe it's going to be this one, because that's the one that that's the one that pushes the blocks back. Let's see, does that work? Yes, I think we'll put it on full delay though, because I think it'll be better. Yep. Okay, so that works. Now we need to, repeater goes on there. So it doesn't want to give it to me. Oh, I'm not sure how much portal mathematics I'm going to be able to talk about with this going on. Maybe I should focus on building this for now. I'll talk about the portals at the end of the episode. So, what we've got going on here is the piston design is there. Okay. So, this is looking good. I'm just going to check my design again, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What I was saying is that another portal will only connect to an overworld portal, which in overworld coordinates is within a radius of 128 Hobbit. So this portal is right on the edge of that 128 block radius to the portal for the slime farm, and that portal is right on the edge of the 128 block radius to the other. Excuse me. Ugh. To my main base, or my old base's portal. And the positions I got from... I'm just going to leave this here. Oh, I can leave that too. Okay, I need some of this for another portal. Off we go. So that's how it works. I actually wanted to explain more about how it works, but that's for another time, I think. This episode isn't very philosophy-ish, nor is it very science-ish or mathematics-ish. But in my defense, it's challenging to build something complicated like the witch farm at the same time as doing stuff like that. Okay. So to do something on another screen, I have two monitors, so that makes it easy to manage several things at the same time. This witch farm is coming along nicely. I'm very happy with how it's turned out so far. And it will come into view any moment now. By the way, I avoid lily pads, even though it says that the boat doesn't break on them anymore, but number one, sometimes, well, when you mow right through them, you break them, and sometimes that can result in the boat itself breaking as well. So I just avoid them because I find that very annoying. Okay, I've got signs to place. That's what I've got. Lots and lots and lots of signs. This is the way it's going to work. What the signs do is assist me with what's going on over there, which I shall explain momentarily. I've been reading The Hobbit, which is... what a wonderful book. I haven't read it for ages, though. I haven't read it for a good number of years now. I last read it, let's see, in 2002. So that's just about... what's with these cards? There's no water up here. It's really strange. I won't have to worry about them for long. Good, alright, let's go to the other side. I'm up to the part where Bilbo is about to meet Gollum, which is, in the movie, it's about, probably half, if not 2/3 of the way through. Not totally sure. Anyway, the movie, yeah. The 3D I found totally and completely unimpressive. I thought it was going to be shot in 3D, and indeed some of it was, but quite a lot of it wasn't shot in 3D. And I can't stand that. I hate it. So that meant that there was a good part of the movie that I didn't like at all. Let's see, where does this come out? Underneath glass. The rain does go on a bit, doesn't it? I've left this open so that I can get in. These are all half slabs so that no witches spawn in while I'm busy building, and then when I'm ready to activate the farm, then I'll just... Oh, too many signs. I had no idea that I would have too many. When I'm ready to turn it on, I'll fill it up and then switch it on, and it should just work. Should be ready to go. Do I have any weapons? Yes, I do. Do I have any arrows? Yes, I do. Be a good time to have the Bane of Arthropod's sword, which of course I don't. That's just smite. Good against the undead, not good against the living. Okay, need more glass, and I need to divest myself of all this wood. Don't need those signs right now. Get some glass. Okay, should be good to go now. Looks like it's coming dawn. One of the best things about the Hobbit movie was the soundtrack. Man, that was wonderful. I liked it very much. And similar sort of thing to the Lord of the Rings. A lot of the themes were very similar. A lot of trumpet in there. Very much like the Lord of the Rings. And that's all to the good, because it makes the thing seem like a homogeneous whole, rather than two separate stories. I'm glad that Peter Jackson is directing it as well. He's a good director. Although some of his stuff I don't like. Some aspects of how The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings were done. But you can't have everything perfectly the way you want it, so I'm not saying that I should. Everything should be the way I would have it. I'm just saying that there are some things that I think would be improved. Could be improved if it were made more like Tolkien wrote the story rather than how they thought it should be presented. Okay, I think at the corner we should... Let's put one of them there, and then I believe that stops the witches from falling over here and getting stuck on this that thing there. Come on, place. That's better. And this one needs to be above the pistons, like so. Okay, pretty much the only thing left is the roof and the bottom bit. I think I'll do the bottom bit first, because that's the tricky part. The roof is pretty straightforward. Yeah. Thought that might happen. Good. That seems right. So this is going to be the floor. And, bit of lag there. Don't know what that was. Need to clear the water out of this thing too, and of course, build it properly. Okay, I'm back at my main base. I've just come through that portal, and the reason for that is because I have just placed the nether portal at my witch farm. And as it turns out, it connects to the slime farm's portal. The slime farm nether portal, that is. That looked weird for a second. Crikey. So, I'm going to have to finish moving before I can activate the witch farm. Which is okay, because I haven't done the roof yet either. So that's my next goal, but what I want to do is show you guys what I've done so far. The signs came in very handy, even though I didn't actually need them for the construction itself. I'll show you how I use them in just a second. When it comes into view, I never keep my flints and steel. I never keep my flints and steel around. So every time I want to use one, I have to make a new one. This is my Malum pickaxe, which I talked about last video. But let's have a look at this here. What you can see here is the witches will get pushed down here, or they fall down here through that. These signs prevent there from being any air blocks at that Y coordinate, which is good for my project. And then they get pushed into the nether portal, and I think I will have a secondary system where they will get sort of sent up and to a drop. But I haven't worked on that yet. I'm not sure that I will work on it just at the moment. But clearly, I'm going to get stuck going through this portal again. So I just wanted to say that the way I got rid of the water in here was I placed signs everywhere. And because of the way you place signs, if you break the one at the wall, they all break. So I could place a long line of signs, break one, and then that gives me all the signs back, and then I can do things the other way. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the slime farm. I'm going to call this episode to an end, as you can see. Go straight back through, we end up here. So, I'm going to say this is Palladian PD, and I'm signing out.